Hello and welcome to the Con Couple. I'm Richard,
I'm Caroline.
and we go to a frankly horrifying number of cons every year.
I'm annoyed I didn't mess up the intro, so I'm going to rewind that. I'm tired. I'm amazed that you let me stay up tonight. No, you always mess up the intro. Why do you do this? Because it is actually more consistent to have an inconsistent intro. Did you tell them your name? No, I didn't tell them their name. It's Caroline. See, I did it all for you that time.
Thanks, honey.
See, I did such a good job with it that now I just get to run this podcast because you're coughing.
Yep,
And we're not going to edit this because you're lazy.
basically. So yeah, I'm mostly recovered from the cold, flu, whatever the heck it was I had last week. I've just had this very annoying tickly cough for like the last 5 days. It's mostly gone. Mostly. So where were we this week, my love?
Why do I have to tell them?
Because
It's in the episode title.
I know, but I always ask you that question.
I know, but I feel like messing stuff up today. We were.
Can you have just the tiniest hint of professionalism about this podcast?
Do you have the tiniest hint of professionalism about this podcast?
Yes. It's the tiniest hint, but it exists. Now tell them where we were.
We were at Animarathon.
Thank you.
And also as a reminder, because I do think we might actually have some new people this episode if we've not turned them away by whatever our intro was this week. This is a podcast we record driving back from conventions in our cars, which is good because it's a 3-hour drive tonight at 10:30 p.m.
Yeah. And we got up at a totally same time to go to this con.
At 5 a.m.
Yeah, my alarm was set for 4:45 this morning.
Yep.
So that I had enough time to, very quickly get up, get dressed, and then come get you at 5 o'clock.
Pretty much, yeah. So as a reminder, we're keeping with the laws and the thankfully just state of Ohio this time,
Mm-hmm.
and using hands-free lapel mics. Caroline, will be doing the operations and the looking at the schedule as the person who is not driving.
So yeah, so that is the spiel. So, Animarathon. This is our second time going to this.
Although first time on the podcast.
Yes, because the first time we went was 2 years ago. I don't remember why we didn't go last year. I feel like
it was opposite something else. It might have been Fan Expo. I have a theory that this con is probably centered around the University of Bowling Green's spring break. So this is a university con.
That would track, yeah, if it's the weekend, after their spring break?
Yeah.
Yeah. That would make a certain amount of sense.
Or if it was like the weekend, basically the end of their spring breaks for when they got back.
Yeah.
That said, I don't know. I could look up an academic calendar, but I'm too lazy.
I think I heard it was their spring break this week.
And I still will admit, this is a con that is at a university. Some cons that are at universities are run by undergraduate anime clubs and stuff like that. It's a bit unclear to me who Animarathon is actually run by. I will see if I can find that on their website as you talk about other stuff.
Certainly. So, specifically, the venue for this one is the Student Union building at Bowling Green University, which I will say, quite a nice building. As a location for a con, it's not bad, but I'm going to be honest, they're starting to push their luck in terms of how many people they're cramming into it. Or at the very least, they're starting to run up against some problems insofar as some of the rooms they're using are not big enough. That we saw some very overcrowded panel rooms today, and their line management is non-existent. I'll talk about the reg line when we get to that point.
So Animarathon started in 2003, so it's been going a while.
That would make sense.
It's by the Northeast Ohio, so Ohio's Northwest Anime Club runs it. We are a family-friendly student organization that focuses on making connections and watching anime to create a bigger anime community. So I'm assuming that does mean it is a student organization that runs it.
Yeah, which kind of tracks. That does mean it's actually a fairly cheap con. Tickets for what, $15?
$15 in advance, $20 if you're buying them day of. And that is for the entire weekend. It is a 2-day convention, though, so Saturday and Sunday they don't do stuff on Friday. Although I think you could have picked your badges up on Friday if you wanted.
Yes, you could. I did see some guidance related to picking up your badge that basically said if you were doing it on Friday, they recommend doing it after 6:30 because that's when the parking in the building becomes free. So, but they would be there until I think they said 8 o'clock last night for early badge pickup. Which again, useful. Yep. Very useful at this con.
And since this was a one-day con for us, generally we do, when it's possible, try to take advantage of free badge early pickup, because I can't do lines for those of you who are listeners of this podcast.
Yep. Yes, for complicated reasons related to your disability, lines become very problematic for you. Like, you can manage a couple of minutes, but much beyond that, it becomes an issue.
Yeah. By the way, long-term listeners to this podcast, we do have a little bit of a treat coming up in a couple minutes. So, or a secret surprise. Ooh. So keep listening, keep watching.
So yeah,
help our viewer numbers.
Yeah, if you're watching,
like and subscribe.
Like, subscribe, share, email it to your friends.
As evidenced by the fact that neither opening or closing spiels, which are already incredibly chaotic, have like and subscribe in them, it says something about how good we are at marketing this.
Yeah, put it on your socials.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Look, it's probably should be clear to people who are listening to this, we're not trying to make this something we do full time.
No.
Like, if it happens to become that, I think for you, great. It probably won't. We're doing this to
we do this because it's interesting as a journaling device.
It's interesting as a journaling device, and the people who do listen to the podcast regularly really do mean a lot to me as just people.
Agreed. But again, much as I currently hate my job, I don't realistically see this as a replacement for it.
No.
So yeah. So
plus, there's a lot of stress that comes with being an influencer, like inconsistent income, trying to find good marketing deals, the fact that you have to pay for your own retirement. There's a lot of things.
It's not actually worth it most of the time unless you hit it really big. But anyway, so the actual venue space is basically fine. It's basically split across 3 levels. So you've got a lower floor, which is largely a food court, with, I'm going to assume that the food there is slightly subsidized, because they've got, a couple of fast food kind of places, there's a Panda Express there, for example, down there. But it was cheaper than I'm pretty sure Panda Express normally is. I haven't been to Panda Express in a while, but I'm pretty sure what I got was cheaper than their stuff normally is. So I suspect it is slightly subsidized. So you're not paying nonsense con markup.
Yeah, at the very least, even if it's not subsidized, you are at least paying prices that are not vendors' hall prices, which is nice. This is a very inexpensive con in that regard, which is nice.
Especially if you're local. If you are anywhere near Bowling Green, this is actually a good con from a value for money standpoint.
And a popular one for that reason.
But yeah, then the second level has, among other things, their main event space, a few panel rooms, and a reasonable amount of seating, actually. They've also got an actual room with theatre seating, which is super nice for some events. So is it tiered theatre seating?
Yeah, universities in general do tend to be actually great places to have cons because they have so many spaces that work for panel rooms that are just classrooms and theaters for student performances. So
every so often I contemplate trying to start a con using our university. Mostly neither of us can be.
Well, it's also our university is not in a centralized location in a way that I think would be useful. If we were in a major city, I actually would be pitching this as an idea, but we're not.
We're not. We might be right off the highway, but we're also an hour from everywhere.
Yeah.
But anyway, so and then the third level is largely smaller panel rooms, which again we'll get onto. And I say panel rooms; they're normally classrooms. So again, perfectly functional space, decent-sized stairways so you can get up and down without too many problems, and also some lifts if you require those for whatever reason. Whether that just be you prefer it because of large, bulky costumes, or you need it because you have specific mobility issues. So all in all, it's not a bad space. I think it's actually pretty good for what they're using it for. Parking. So I want to tell you a story that happened to us 2 years ago.
I don't think this was the con's fault.
No. So 2 years ago, we got there, we parked up, we went inside.
Keep in mind, this was our first time at this con at all.
Yep. And then they made an announcement like halfway through the day that a bunch of people were getting parking tickets because they were parked in the wrong place.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who that was?
It wasn't just us, to be fair. But it was $50 at a time period where I don't think you were working full time yet.
Correct.
So
that was kind of not great. So I did move the car at that point. But again, the signposting on that wasn't great. And one of the things we noticed this year was there was a guide posted on their website that said, here are the parking lot, we have a big parking lot right in front of the building. That will cost you money. There is one just across the street that is free, and here's some additional parking slightly further away, around the campus. This guide was super helpful because it basically let us know where we could and couldn't park. So we basically, we decided we would decide when we arrived which lot we wanted to go in. Because we did contemplate me dropping you off and then going parking up at the free parking.
And to clarify, 2 years ago, I really don't think it was the con's fault. I do think they legitimately thought that lot was free and it was supposed to be free. And then some just overzealous security guard, because campus security guards are a lot like campus computer science safety people. Like, they're people who want jobs that are more important than the job that they actually have, so they take it way too seriously. And then just proceed to be overzealous about it. So from what I heard that year, basically one security guard who was new got overzealous about taking that parking lot, even though they weren't supposed to. The con did say they were going to look into it and try to clear people's like tickets and stuff like that.
We just paid it.
We just paid it. Like, I think we could have waited and maybe tried, but it's just one of those things where I get paranoid about unpaid tickets and stuff like that, because that is stuff they will arrest you for. And as a disabled person, being arrested is not something I want to deal with. Because it's shockingly inaccessible. So, not on the con, but also.
So this year, and I suspect last year as well, they made it clear, as long as you check their website, where you could and couldn't park. And we did, when we pulled in, we did notice some people in that parking lot, but I think they were just unloading their friends, and I'm assuming they were going to move after they did that, and I think that's fine. Being in the no parking here section long enough to load and unload, fine. That's not a problem.
And by the way, part of the reason we got there so early is because we got there at about 8:30. Is just, we know from experience, even 2 years ago, and I do think it has gotten worse, how crowded this con gets and how not terribly well organized it kind of sort of is. And I do want to be fair, this is a incredibly inexpensive convention that's likely run by people who are pretty young.
With that said, there are some mistakes you still probably shouldn't be making. So
there were definitely some fire hazards that were happening today.
At this point, I think we're about ready to go chronological, which means we are now going to give you a surprise.
Yay!
So, a year ago, we were commenting that, in addition to our standard con couple ribbons, which you can get just by saying hi to us, and we'll just hand you one. We said we were going to get some extra special ribbons that are exclusively for people who actually listen to the podcast. Now, the way you prove that is we were just going to give you a secret word in the last week's episode, and then if you just come up and tell us that at the next con, then you can have the super secret ribbon. It's taken a year, but we finally got around to actually getting the super secret ribbons.
We do have the super secret ribbons now.
So we now have special ribbons, and you don't get to find out what it looks like unless you actually give us the secret code.
Yes.
And we have decided that for next week's con, where are we going next week?
Furthermore, in Baltimore.
Furthermore in Baltimore.
And I do realize this is a bad combination of cons to try that out on, because I don't think there's a lot of people who are probably attending both Animarathon and Furthermore in Baltimore. But probably if you happen to be one of those people,
hey, there are also people who just listen to this because. So if you happen to be at Furthermore in Baltimore, come up to us and tell us to shut our pie hole. And we will give you the secret ribbon.
Yes. And if coincidentally you happen to tell us to do that, we will also give you the secret ribbon.
Say those words to sue us, and we'll give you the ribbon.
So shut our pie hole. Or shut your pie hole.
Shut your pie hole.
Shut your pie hole.
Okay. So as we said earlier,
Was it wise for us to pick something where they just insult us?
Yes.
Okay.
It's funny.
Some people have not feel comfortable insulting us.
You are very welcome to come up to us and insult us. I'm British.
Yep.
Like, you know what the scale of British friendship is, right? You know, the scale of British friendship is, oh, hello there. They hate you. Hi. They're okay with you. All right. They like you. Oi, dipshit. They're your best friend.
That does track with how you greet people.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Yeah, the thing is I can't do it in America. Like, people take offense. So, yeah. So, as I mentioned, we got up pretty early for this one. Specifically, we were out the door and on the road by, what, about 5:30?
Yep.
And for this one, we're back in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Cosplay. So I'm once again in my Pegasus stuff. You're in your Pegasus's dead wife stuff.
Cecilia, yes.
Cecilia.
No one ever remembers her name.
She's got one line.
Yep.
I've now seen the episode in which she says her one line. Yes, if you're not familiar, Cecilia is dead before the show begins.
Yeah.
Like, her death is what drives Pegasus to be evil. Because, you know, that's the primary function of women in fiction. It's to be dead in order to inspire men to do things. Incidentally, that sucks, but, you know, it is a trope. But anyway, so, yeah, gone on the road, 3-hour drive. It was a straightforward drive, I'll give it that. You actually napped for part of it. You don't
I don't normally do that. I was feeling like I needed to get that extra hour in after getting up at 5, which I'm glad I did. I think it helped a little bit.
Yep.
I think part of it was just I was trying to, because I take medication that's timed, I wanted to make sure I had that medication like in my system the entire time we were at the con, so I didn't want to take it early, so I didn't have my early morning caffeine hit as early, so I was still without caffeine like around the time we were hitting Columbus, and I was like, I'm just going to pass out for a bit.
Yep.
It was good. It helped pass the time.
But you pass the time.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
I let you listen to an audiobook.
Again, I just put one headphone in, listen to my audiobook.
Okay, you don't want to admit that on the podcast thing.
Okay. Yeah, anyway. I just listened to my audiobook and that was fine. So, yeah. So, we got there around 8:30-ish. Parked up. Again, we deliberately went for the free parking.
Yep.
Because the actual walk distance was, what, like 2 minutes?
Yeah, it wasn't long at all. And the diagram actually helped me a lot because I knew it was something I was going to be able to handle because I knew where we were parking.
Yep.
And how far away it was, which was nice. And the diagram, I will say, was very, very clear.
Yeah. Like, it was basically, we've color-coded these. These one, don't park in this one. This section is, pay for parking. I don't know how expensive it was because I didn't bother checking. And this section is free parking. I was like, free parking is best parking. Like, I will take the 2-minute walk because the weather was okay. Like, little chilly this morning, but, like, not awful. Again, compared to some of the nonsense we've been having recently. Oh, incidentally, if you were listening to last week's episode, the tree's still in our driveway.
Yep. Also, Linz, I would like to apologize to you for not responding to your email. It's been largely due to the fact
that there's still trees in our driveway.
Yeah.
So, I need to call our landlord tomorrow and be like, hey, any idea when the heck this is getting taken care of? Because I physically can't take our rubbish bins out at the moment.
Yep.
Because they are pinned in. So, anywho.
It'll still be there when we get back.
Yep. Maybe it'll be surprising. We'll get home and it'll have been done while we were out.
No.
No. Not over the weekend.
You're going to have to send it, like,
very politely worded what the hell message.
Yeah, we said we're going to do that tomorrow.
Yep. Okay. So, went in, and at this point, we immediately saw the red light.
Yep.
So, I'm going to complain about some stuff for a bit now.
One of your favorite pastimes.
Yes, especially, I'm complaining about queuing. This is one of the, this is the British person's, like, wet dream. This is great. So, So, you basically just grabbed a chair in the dining area to wait for me, because again...
Can't do lines, disabled.
Yep.
Which I will also want to... This is my version of complaining. There was no accessibility resources at this con whatsoever.
Nope.
Like, I get that that's something students wouldn't normally think of, but there are enough people in this venue right now that there need to be accessibility resources, and there are none. No accessible lines, no alternative places for you to line up. if you're lining up, no accessible seating venues. I don't even know, like, I know the theater we were in had some back seating for people with accessibility at the very top, but that seating's not always ideal. And it also means because there's not even chairs at that area, if you do have an accessibility issue and your friend doesn't, you can't sit together.
Yep.
Which is more of a problem with the student union building than it is with the con, but even so, that wasn't great.
Yeah. So I got in the back of the line, and the line was just kind of like snaking through the dining area. Because again, there was no attempt at like line management in that regard. So the line moved not terribly quickly. So I think it took me about 20, 25 minutes to get through it. So sorry. And you know, the reason for that was pretty simple. There was one person working registration. Well, not strictly true. There were two people working registration. So, you know, one guy becomes free. I go up there and I'm like, hey, we ordered our tickets online. Here are our IDs. Oh, yeah, if you're, if you bought your tickets in advance, you need to be over there. He did at least let me, like, bracket into that one rather than having to go, back again.
Well, like I was sitting somewhere else and I saw that they had literally just split that line, like right before you got there. Before you had got there, it wasn't even split. Like it was one line.
Because again, the signage wasn't clear. What signage there was, which there wasn't much. And yeah, so they basically had, for all pre-reg tickets, they had one person who basically had an iPad or similar tablet device, who was checking your name against a list. We pre-purchased our tickets. Our names were not on that list, and we heard that problem from a few other people.
Although I will say, while this was happening, I did see my con crush, which was nice.
Nice.
My con crush, I think I mentioned this the first time I saw them. I do not know their pronouns or anything. And my con crush is basically somebody I just admire because their eccentric dress game matches my eccentric dress game. And they were in their jellyfish costume and they complimented my dress. And they also have a brilliant sunflower dress. And I recognize them from, I think, Animate. I don't remember if they were Galaxy this year. I'm pretty sure it was Animate.
I think it was Animate.
But yeah, they are great. And I hope I see them at more cons.
Yeah, so I ended up having to like call you. I'd ask you to come up because like they were like, well, do you have your receipt? You were the one who bought the tickets, so you had the receipt, somewhere in your email, so you had to find it. So yeah, you did that, and they handed over a badge.
Yeah, we found out later we were not the only people who were having that problem. Generally,
I knew at that point we weren't the only one because she wrote our names down on a list, and there were at least half a dozen other names on that list.
It might have been because I will admit they said that like online ticket sales stopped the Monday before we bought tickets, and they were just still open when I bought tickets. So it's possible they just downloaded the list earlier than that and forgot to check online ticket sales. But it was still open, and I was still able to buy tickets. So I assume that they just extended the deadline and just didn't put it on the site.
Yep. So yeah, that was probably the issue. But like. So yeah, this one person was very badly overwhelmed, and that line was just getting longer.
Yeah, keep in mind when we were there, it was still relatively quiet at that point because it wasn't even 9 a.m. yet. Yeah, like, ticketing opened at 8. We got there at about 8:30, so there wasn't even much time for a line to form.
Like we walked down in that section later, and the line had gone all the way through the dining hall, over down one of the corridors, and all the way to the end of the corridor, where I'm not entirely sure if it had just like fully merged with the line for the Starbucks. But yeah, like I'm willing to bet given where that was and how fast that line was moving, my guess is at that point that line was probably taking an hour and a half.
Yep. There were also people already lined up for the vendors hall that I think opened at 10. And we know from experience, our last time here, that they did cap the amount of people who go into the vendors hall, which means that it gets long because it's a relatively small vendors hall. So subsequently, we just didn't go into the vendors hall.
We didn't even attempt it.
Yeah. We could have probably gone in with Bridget and James because we were hanging out to them as they were about to go into the vendors hall, but that felt rude.
That felt cheeky.
We didn't really want to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, we did not even attempt it this time. So I have no idea if the vendors hall was any good at this con. I'm sure it was fine, but it wasn't worth the the waiting in lines.
And again, there's no ADA for registration or for vendors hall stuff. Like none. which is a problem.
Yeah,
like, these lines are not safe for people who are in wheelchairs or have different disabilities to be in. They're just not.
We are aware that panelists could use a separate, like, quicker go to the desk and pick up their badge thing, which was described by Bridget as, like, one of the biggest perks of being a panelist at this con. Because again, like, yeah, I think they comp your tickets, but like the tickets aren't expensive enough for it to really matter for most of us. So just like not having to stand in an hour-long line, that's a perk.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, for the love of God, get at least 2, probably 3 people working that pre-reg desk, and you will cut that line down significantly. So yeah, that's not good.
Lack of ADA, also not good.
Yeah.
And I do want to be patient. I do not know if if this truly is a student-run organization that one means they're switching out who's running it every 3 to 4 years, and who's going to be running it is just who is ever passionate about anime at that point.
Yeah.
And if they have a faculty advisor or something like that, believe me, that person does not have time to actually advise them.
Yeah.
So, I know much of that's true. I do kind of hope that they could maybe put some better safety systems in place just to make stuff a little bit more agreeable.
Yeah.
That said, we got through the line about 20 minutes, which, had that been peak con hours, I don't think we would have complained terribly much.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't. And
so
by the time we hit peak con hours, that line was mad, bordering on dangerous, is my honest assessment of that. So yeah, the lines at this con have been kind of a problem. So, what did we do first after we got the badges?
We went up to actually trivia.
We did. So this was in one of the panel rooms upstairs on the 3rd floor. And we've done actually trivia at a few cons. I've actually hosted it at least one con. And this was exceptionally well run.
Yes, they put so much work into this.
Like, they had a bunch of different prizes, and they were bringing, like, so 3 people were going up at once. They were getting 2 normal actually style questions, and then a shiny question. And like, then whoever won got to decide what, like, mystery prizes people, everybody got. So they had like 3 Pokemon themed boxes, or
which I think they made.
Yeah, I think they did. Or like 3 purple bags, or 3 yellow bags, or whatever. And you basically just picked which of the type of prize you would get. Again, these were all blind, so you didn't know what was.
But keep in mind, there was like 15 or so separate prizes in these different bags, and all of them had things like plushies and Funko Pops in them.
Yeah.
So they were all like very, very well designed bags.
Yeah.
For a very silly game, which was nice. Yeah. And for reference, if you do happen to be listening to this and you run this again, like, please don't feel obligated. Like, those prizes were amazing. If you can keep doing those, great. But if you can't, like, afford to do them, people will love the thought you put into this just as much without the prizes.
Yeah. It was very well very well put together. Actually trivia. Yeah,
the trivia was great. They had like little whiteboards that you could like write answers on for some of the questions. Some of the questions had stuff that for some of the shiny questions you had to put stuff in chronological order for one of mine.
Yep.
Which I did, but you had little magnets you could move it around that they clearly made all the magnets for. Like, they made the magnets to put on these boards that you could, like, do the questions. They even had matching questions you could also pair on these magnetic boards.
Yep.
In addition to making a PowerPoint.
Yeah, one of my shiny questions, or the shiny question I did was, like, here's pictures of a bunch of different Batmen. Name the actors.
Yep.
And, like, they'd laminated it so you could write on it with a dry erase marker. Like, just so many good little touches.
Yeah.
That just made this amongst the, like, best run actually panels we've seen.
Yeah. Like, mine, I had to match slogans to products, and they had made magnets of the slogans and the products.
Yep.
Like, the amount of work it must have taken them to do this is insane.
Yep.
It's just off the boards, and all of the questions were thoughtful. And I also really like this insofar as, like, we went to 2 other panels to talk about the one that we stayed late for, mostly because of how brilliant this one was, and I am glad we did that.
Yep.
But the thing I particularly liked about this one is it wasn't just focused on anime, but more general stuff, and they did give you categories. And because it wasn't focused on anime or video games for once, I got to be able to play
Yeah, you did Saturday morning
cartoons and I did commercials. And I won both rounds.
You did. And I did pretty well at the DC Comics one.
Mm-hmm. I think you won that.
I did. It helped that I knew almost all the Batman actors. The only two I missed out were Will Arnett's Lego Batman. It was one of those things where it was somewhere in my brain, and I knew the second I heard the answer, I was going to go, oh, of course it was, and be annoyed with myself. And the Batman from the 1940s. Nobody knew who that one was. I got actively already forgotten who that was. But I got all of the rest, so I got 8 out of 10.
I was proud of myself for putting a bunch of cartoons, most of which were before I was born, in chronological order almost perfectly.
Yeah, you did. Like, you got 2 of them the wrong way. Like, 2 of them were switched.
Yep.
Like, you did phenomenally well on that.
I got the slogans too, so.
Yeah, you did. So yeah, like, this was just very, very well.
It was very well run. It was very fun, and I also like that everyone who went up got a prize, no matter how well they did, and they were all pretty much equal prizes. Like the only thing you got if you won was the ability to choose like what random bag of stuff you got.
Yeah,
but all the stuff was good.
And again, like it was random. We had no idea what was in any of those bags when we were choosing stuff.
But they were all very, very fun.
Yep. So yeah, like just very, very well put together panel. All in all.
Yeah, and thank you for, again, having trivia questions that are answerable by different demographics of people. That was kind of a breath of fresh air, because I go to so many cons that have exclusively anime and video game trivias, and as somebody who's not really into either of those things, I can't play. But everyone's seen commercials, so everyone can do rounds like that, which is great. And even if I didn't know any answers to any questions, I still could have played. But, it is nice to actually just be able to play trivia at a con that I actually know how to play.
Yeah, it's the same way anytime I end up doing an anime one and doing really badly.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if it's a video game one, I've got, depending...
You don't do Nintendo.
I don't do Nintendo, but, like, general purpose video game, yeah, I can usually do okay. Yeah, like, again, very well put together, just generally very fun. So, yeah. Do you have anything else to say about that?
I would go to that 100 times over. Like, I'm being 100% serious, and like I think our badges alone were worth that, like just for that panel. And I don't say that often. Like that's my highest praise for a panel. Just like
congratulations, you made the con worth driving 3 hours for.
Yep.
Each way.
Yeah. Like we stayed late tonight to go to another one of your panels, and I'm glad we did.
So yeah, we'll get to that. So, what was next?
Next, I should pull up the schedule. That's a smart thing for me to do.
That is a thing you should, in fact, do, because that will help.
And we'll also say this con did have a lot of children at it, because there were some kids who were playing in the game and stuff like that. And I think the organizers did a good job of incorporating the kids, Yep.
Oh, yeah, I know what we did next.
What did we do next?
We went to Smut or Angst.
Yes.
So, this particular panel was, they were giving you an example of a fandom, a ship pairing, and a title of a piece of fan fiction, and then they were getting the audience to vote on whether or not they thought it was smut or angst.
Yeah, and this is, I think, about the time my claustrophobia decided to wield its ugly head for the first time.
Yeah.
It's not the last time, but it was the first time.
Yeah.
Because this is in one of those, it was weirdly in this room that was called the family room, despite being an 18-plus panel that was also at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
That they did not check IDs for.
No. Yeah. The one thing I will say about this con, they were bad about checking IDs.
Yep.
Like, I believe you could get an 18-plus wristband when you picked up your registration badge. That poor person was very overwhelmed. They did not offer me a wristband, despite the fact I showed them our IDs.
Yeah. So I think that wound up, just because, depending on who was at the desk, you either did or didn't get a wristband. I think about half the attendees had them and half of the attendees didn't.
Yeah, like there were some people who had no idea what they were even for.
Yep. And I will say the 18-plus panels we went to were 18-plus in the sense that the way I referred to it as like R-rated movie 18-plus, where like it's cursing and maybe there's like boobs somewhere. but like it's not like 18 plus in the sense that it's just like this is a panel about erotica explicitly.
Most of them.
Most of them.
We'll talk about that one when we get there. But yeah,
that one ID check though.
Yeah, like generally speaking, it was just a case of they wanted to be able to curse for that panel, which is valid. Like there are some panels where it helps to be able to curse, and again, we'll talk about those as we get to them. This particular one, I think they just flagged it as 18 plus because they were potentially talking about smut.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest. To me, one of the fun things about fan fiction is like reading it or having it read at a con. Here, they were just giving you like, the title, the ship, the fandom, and telling you if it was smut or angst.
Yeah, and people voted, and it's basically like picking at random whether it's smut or angst. Like it's a fun game.
Yeah, like people were cheering when when they got it right. But, like there wasn't any scorekeeping or anything like that. It was just like vibes of the room. This panel was fine. Like they'd clearly done the research to find a bunch of interesting, weird, like fan fiction. But at the same time, I would have liked to like hear some of that fan fiction.
Yeah, it's like reading experts or something like that.
Yeah,
or like getting a person from the audience to read or something like that. Especially if you are tagging it 18 plus, there's no real reason to not. So. Yeah. I'll admit, for this one, I was more just kind of chilling at the back because we did get there late, for one thing, and two, I was just. This room is also like for whatever it's one of those like fishbowl-y type rooms they have at college campuses where there's like windows on 3 sides of it. The screens were drawn so you couldn't see anything past them, which is good for an 18 plus panel.
Yeah.
But you could feel all the people around you, and it was just kind of overwhelming, and I didn't particularly like this room.
Yeah. Plus, again, because we got to this one relatively late, we were sitting at the back, which for whatever reason, just your claustrophobia does not like.
Yep.
Like, if you're near the front, you're usually much better. Which, again, I suspect part of that is just you can see all the other people around you.
Yep.
It's just kind of, like, hits you right there.
But it was cute.
Yeah.
And competently run.
Competently run. Like, again, I think there are things I would do to make it more interesting to me personally, but people were definitely having fun with it.
So after that,
I believe this is when we went and sat down for a few minutes.
Well, we first, I think, ran into Bridget and James, I thought.
Yes, that sounds about right.
Because we were wandering around and we saw them, because we were deciding what to do next, and they were in line for the dealer's hall, which at that point had a relatively short line.
Yeah.
Relatively.
This
was also where we were confused, because as we were getting out, we saw people going into the dealer, like, we walked through a line to get to the dealer's hall on one side, and there was another line to get into the dealer's hall on the other side.
Yeah.
And it was kind of confusing.
Yeah.
They also did have a separate line for autographs this year in addition to the dealer's hall, which I do think I heard mixed things about. Bridget and James seem to like it.
I like it in principle, but here's the problem. The autograph space and the dealer's hall are just the same room, which means I have no idea how you police people who came in through the autograph line, not just then going through the dealer's hall. And, like, the amount of extra effort you would have to put in to do that doesn't seem worth it to me. Well, like, I heard some people were complaining about it while you were getting food a little bit later, because they felt that, like, because I think they had separate lines, they'd also booked out more space for the autograph areas, so people could conceivably wait at tables. And that meant there was less space for the dealer's hall, which seemed to annoy them. I did not go in. I did not see anything, so... And we could have gone in with Bridget and James, but that felt cheeky. So. Yes. Yeah,
plus, we didn't really want to go in, if I'm being honest.
Not worth it to us.
Like, we wound up getting more stuff at this con than had we gone in, honestly.
Yeah, there was a lot of free stuff at this con. Like, between you doing them actually twice and me doing it once, we got 3 prizes.
Yeah, some of which had several things in them. And then we won more stuff later.
Yep.
Foreshadowing is a literary device.
So yeah,
we said hi to them briefly. It's clear that I think they were a bit overwhelmed. And I do know that they had a pretty packed schedule, too, because they were both paneling, and Bridget was in the masquerade.
Yeah.
Don't know how she did, because she has not messaged us. Sure, we'll probably find out tomorrow.
Yeah, you can ping her a message.
Yeah.
They're not going to mind. If they're already asleep, then... But yeah. So at that point, we basically just found a quietish corner, quietish corner, and grabbed a chair.
Yep.
I ran to grab myself some food because I was a bit peckish, and left you with a copy of the schedule. We did grab a paper schedule at this point, and this con does have that, which is nice. It had a bunch of printing errors on it, of like text that was like overlapping other text, and like the times on the side weren't quite aligned properly. It was really weird. Like
it seems like they just printed it out and like they didn't do a mock-up of it beforehand, so they couldn't fix the errors and then just didn't care.
Yeah.
Which sounds about what students would do, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't know how you mess up printing out a Google sheet though.
I don't either. But it's also like at least they had them.
Yeah. I will take I will take having a slightly weird janky one over not having anything.
Well, they did have a lot of programming on this con.
They did. I'm going to be honest, they had too much programming.
I'm not sure I agree with that. I do think that they put programming in places that weren't like quite a right fit for it.
Yeah. Which again, we'll talk about. So yeah, so at that point I basically ran down to their food court area. And I just went to the Panda Express on the grounds that there wasn't a line, and I figured it'd be quick. It was in fact pretty quick.
It does have Express in the name.
So yeah, got myself a Panda Express. Came back up and joined you, and then just kind of quickly wolfed that down. Because again, Panda Express, it's not actually Chinese food, but it's a okayish approximation if you're in a hurry, but don't have an actual decent Chinese place anywhere near you.
We are no way. We are probably the furthest people away from people who can verify the authenticity of Chinese food, honey. At all.
Put it this way: it's not a patch of what I can get from a proper Chinese takeaway in the UK.
Because there's no chips.
Look, I don't get salt and pepper chips at a Chinese place in the UK usually, but they don't even offer you prawn crackers. What's the point? But anyway.
So after that, we went to the Who's That Pokemon panel.
Yeah.
And this was actually done in a really interesting way. Like, you would think Who's That Pokemon if you've seen Pokemon. So if you have a pulse that are below 50, you know that, like, the Who's That Pokemon anime show shows photos of the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Shows the silhouettes of the Pokemon, and then you guess the Pokemon based on the silhouette, basically.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Jigglypuff, as seen from above.
I'm glad you knew where I was going with that.
Of course I knew where you were going with that. That's a joke in one of the episodes.
The moment when children learn what the F-bomb means. They might not know it yet, but they know what it means now.
So this was interesting, because it was not that. It was, I think, way more interesting than that, actually. Where
I actually quite like the way this was done.
They would give you, like, facts about the Pokemon, like their egg group or how much they weighed and stuff like that. And they would give you, I think, a 10-ish total facts.
10 facts.
And you would have to buzz in to guess the Pokemon. And the fewer facts you guessed with, the more points you got. So if you guessed with just one fact, you got 10 points. If you guessed with 2 facts, you got 9 points.
So on and so forth.
Yeah.
And again, like, the facts got more obvious and helpful as you went down. Like, the first few facts probably don't actually narrow it down to a single Pokemon.
Yeah, the first fact is often something like, it has a 50% gender ratio. And I'm like, that could be like most of the Pokemon.
That's a decent chunk of them. It's not all of them, but it's it's a reasonable percentage.
And yeah, I like this a lot. It was a fun game to kind of solve the clues for. And it was definitely a game that was for Pokemon lovers generally. Like us as pretty casual Pokemon fans. I think we got like maybe one of them.
Yeah, I got none of them. None of them were Gen 1. I'd only heard of about half the ones that got listed. Because again, like I played Red, I played Silver, not played a Pokemon game since.
Yeah. And this was another one for which the room was packed. Because Pokemon was popular.
Yep.
We're also starting to hit peak con hours at this point.
Yep. There were a lot of people standing in this panel.
Yeah, I will say my one criticism that I think you also brought up is I do wish they had traded off, because the people who were playing the game, it took 2 people to play. One, they only took 2 people from the audience to play kind of head-to-head.
Yep.
and they didn't really trade them off fairly frequently, and that was a packed room. So I feel like if they had traded off a bit more frequently, they could have gotten a few more people up to play.
Yeah, like maybe 2 to 3 questions each.
Yeah.
Before like saying thank you very much, and then taking more volunteers.
Yep.
They may have swapped their volunteers out at some point. I
Mhm.
don't know, because we didn't actually stay for the whole of this panel.
Yeah, I think I was getting a little bit overwhelmed, and I also I just wanted to do bingo. Like, I enjoy bingo. I know you don't enjoy bingo, but I enjoy bingo. It's just there's something about its immediacy of just focusing on numbers that gets my brain to not think about all the other stuff I have to worry about in a way that helps with my existential dread.
Cool. Sorry, I don't like bingo terribly much.
It's just because you associate it with old people in the UK.
Nah, it's partially that. I also associate it with, oh great, the teacher didn't have any good ideas for the day.
Math bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do make you play bingo a lot as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like a game you can play. And I will say, when we went to bingo, I did overhear, because there were some kids in the audience being like, oh wow, it's so nice that they're doing this and they're not on an iPad. This is the most attention they've paid to anything. And I'm like, I'm trying not to judge you as a parent. I'm really not. You seem very, very nice. If this is the first time your kid is not paying attention to an iPad, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And that said, I'm sure I will have the exact same problem when I have children, so I should not be judgmental.
Yep.
But I'm allowed to be until that happens.
So yeah. So this was being run by, actually I think this was being run by the Maid Cafe.
Yes. So the Maid Cafe was doing a panel before this that was just called, I think, How to Start a Maid Cafe.
Or something along those
lines. Or How to Be a Maid or something.
Yeah.
I'll look up the exact title.
Yeah. Which meant they'd actually already started bingo by the time we got there, and we got there 10 minutes early.
Yeah.
I don't know how long their other panel actually lasted before they just transitioned straight into the bingo, but that's fine. So yeah, so we grabbed a bingo card. The bingo cards for this one were actually interesting. Rather than a...
Yeah, so the previous panel was called So You Want to Be a Maid with Tsuki Cafe.
Yep. So yeah, so rather than just use standard bingo cards where you have a pen and you mark it off, these actually had
And I do want to emphasize, this wasn't actually the Maid Cafe, this was the Tsuki Idols.
Okay.
Or Suki Idols. It's Tsuki.
Okay.
So Sundre, same
yeah,
thing.
Yeah. Silent T.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, yeah. So they basically had boards with slidey covers for the numbers to mark them off that were red plastic or red see-through plastic. Which it worked fairly well.
Yep.
Easier than crossing off and then rubbing out and all of that jazz. Pretty functional, I thought.
Yep. And I also like that they were very much so the way that they did the prizes, quote unquote, for bingos, they had drawings, and you could put your name for each time you got a bingo. You could put your name into one of the drawings, kind of one of the major prizes, and they also just had snacks that you could just also trade a ticket in for if you wanted to. Generally. Yep.
Which again worked pretty well.
Yeah, and I did like it because they did try to get a lot of winners. I think everyone who was in the room, if you stayed for more than 30 minutes, got to go up at least once at some point.
I think so. I do feel very guilty.
We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
They also did a lot of variations of bingo. Because they did Blackout, they did a heart at one point. That was very fun.
Did a diamond.
Diamond.
They also did what they call their unlucky bingo.
Yep.
Which is you hold up your bingo card, they pull a number, and then if that number is on your board, put your board down.
Yep.
And they keep doing that until they've got only 3 people left, and then they keep going until they've only got 1 left. And whoever's the last one standing who has not had a number that's on their board called yet gets got, I think it was 10 tickets, and then the second and third place got 5 tickets.
Yeah. And it was fun to watch people come in and out of the room. There were some kids and stuff like that. And yeah, I think both of us won twice-ish, 3 times-ish.
We both got a couple of bingos.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds about right, 2 or 3.
And then at the end, they did the drawing.
Yeah. And I won 2 different prizes, and I feel like a dick about it.
I was going to recommend if we won, because there were a couple prizes, there were kids playing, and there were a couple prizes the kids really wanted, but the kids won those prizes, so that I didn't know what to do. So, because otherwise we would have just given them to the children.
They're probably going to end up getting given to your class.
Yeah,
let's
that's
be honest about this.
going to be most of what happens. And as a result of this, because I think one was a stuffed like plush thing, which is cute, and one was like a bracelet and a like little notebook, which I might actually keep the notebook because I actually do need a new notebook to keep notes in. And a Sanrio.
Hello Kitty thing?
It's Sanrio.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Sanrio. The Sanrio is the brand that does Hello Kitty and all the other like friends.
So it's a Hello Kitty thing.
Star Trek and Star Wars are basically the same thing.
No. So anyway.
I feel like I get that one on you if you get that on me.
Yeah. So anyway.
This is the thing, is like, I don't even actually like Hello Kitty that much. It's just been forced upon me as an interest.
Yeah. Even as a girl who's into cute things.
Yep.
But yeah. So I felt guilty winning multiple prizes. But,
I didn't mean it, Hello Kitty. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, the one thing I should mention is I did cock up when we left the house this morning.
Oh.
I grabbed the wrong wig.
Oh, yeah. I was annoyed about that.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
So, like, Pegasus is a new costume, so I've been trying to figure out the right wig for him. So I got you this really cheap wig that I don't like that much because it has so many flyaways. It's impossible to tame.
Mm-hmm.
I got you that one, and then I got you a Witcher wig that is a little bit shorter, but is easier and much thicker. So I like that one more. And somehow you grabbed the wrong one, even though you claimed it was on top of the pile.
It was, which probably means the pile got rejiggered at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry about that.
It's fine. As you can tell, we're bad about throwing things away.
Yeah. We do actually really need to sort the wig cupboard at some point.
Yeah.
At least in part because it's the wig cupboard.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
Don't wig out about it.
Oh, God. You don't get to make puns.
Yes, I do.
Ugh. So anyway.
So yeah, I thought this was really well run. The host had great energy.
Yeah.
Like, this person was just amazing at what they did. Yeah. So
they also appreciated my terrible jokes. Like, at one point, when they said we were going to do a heart shape, I asked for a rules clarification about whether or not, like, you could have it upside down or on its side, or if it had to be the correct way up.
And then we were doing a diamond later, and this was my joke, not your joke.
You made me say it, though.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I asked if we could do the diamond on its side, and she looked at it, and, like, it took her a second, and then she just kind of looked at me and went, really? Like, yeah. Yeah, you can even have it at a 90-degree angle if you want. Sweet! She understood the joke.
Yep.
So, yeah. Again, like, as bingo panels go, this was a good one.
Yeah. I enjoyed it a lot.
I still personally do not think bingo is that great, but
like, bingo isn't something I will do over, like, other panels I am actually interested in. I will admit that. But as just something to kind of do in the middle of the day when the con's crowded, I do find it fun.
Fair enough.
And I know you're worried about it, like, because I know that I have certain triggers, and you always worry that bingo is going to be one of those triggers. Bingo is too stupid to be one of those triggers. That's why I like it. It's just dumb. I can turn my brain off, and sometimes I need to turn my brain off because it doesn't shut up.
It's fair.
Plus, you get to cheer at the funny numbers.
This is true. At the moment, the booing of the 6-7 has become a thing. Because most con goers are too old to be amused by that particular meme, but enough of them have kids that they've heard it a million times.
Well, this is the thing, is, like, it's gone, like, I feel like the kids have moved on at this point, and the adults are the ones who are making it still be a thing.
Yep. That's pretty much how that always works. Tell me, child, do they still create funny numbers?
Yeah.
Good. Add the new one to the list. So, yeah. Again, the main problem with 67 being a funny number is it's too close to 69.
It's true.
Like, you can't use it as a funny number at, like, a con auction.
Mm-hmm.
So, anywho. So what do we do after that?
I'll look it up.
I think that's where we went upstairs again.
Yes.
Specifically, I think it was the debate panel.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. It was. I will double check that. Why don't you just start talking about it?
Yeah.
So we did have concerns about this because the room for this looked small.
Yeah. So this particular room was, at best, a seminar room. And I'm going to be brutally honest, this room was too goddamn small.
Like, put it this way: this room would be too small for some of my classes levels of small.
Oh yeah, like I think you could maybe fit 20 people in this room before it became a fire hazard.
Yeah.
Like at most. And I'm going to be honest, we were cramming slightly more than 20 people into it for that panel.
Yep.
I saw several people stick their head in, kind of go, no, it's too busy, and like not attempted it, which is a shame because I enjoyed this panel quite a lot.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the actual name of it.
Would have been at about
2:30.
2:30. Yeah.
Change My Mind is the official name.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was crowded. So you basically kind of waited in the kind of like line-ish thing. Like
I waited in the line.
It was sort of a line.
Sort of a line, kind of a line.
I briefly traipsed through the video game room.
Yep.
Which was interesting because it was also very crowded, and they did have video game tournaments in it. One thing I did like about this is they did actually have commentary for the video game tournaments. Like, there were just people there commentating on the tournaments as they were happening, which is very fun and very cool.
Yeah, it's a thing we think more cons should do.
Yeah. And they had a nice screen for it, too. The main downside of it is it was so busy and it was in a crowded area and there was so much sound bleed because the door was open. It was impossible to hear the commentators very easily or really watch.
Yep.
Also, there was just randomly a child on a chair in the middle of the room for no reason.
So, a child being a child?
Well, like, I think the parents just put them there so they could play a video game and told them to just, like, sit there.
Okay, then.
Yep.
Not touching that one with a barge pole.
Nope.
So, yeah. So they, the previous panel cleared out. Everybody kind of, like, went in. I basically just grabbed 2 seats. One for me, one for you. And then just called you and said, okay, I'm in the room, come over. I'll give them this. Nobody had a problem with the fact I was blatantly saving a seat for somebody else.
Yep.
So you got that seat.
Yep, but no ADA seating again, generally.
Yep. And again, like, this room was overpacked. Like, there were people, like, standing around the outside of the room, and, like, yeah. So, the panel itself was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry, after you.
Yeah, it was a standard basic, like, ridiculous premise. Like, this person is the greatest anime character of all time. Cuts to, like, and then you have somebody volunteers to defend that concept, and then it cuts to a picture of something that is obviously not that, like Slowpoke or something like that.
Yeah. So, I went first, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah. So I volunteered to go first. By volunteered, I mean she told me I should.
Yep.
Because again, I have no shame, which means I'm good at getting these things rolling.
Well, this is the thing, is like, I try to rely on us sometimes. Like, if you go first, you don't always get the biggest laughs, but you get the honor of, like, getting other people up there to do it. So
I'd help and warm the audience up.
Yep.
Which I think I did a reasonable job at.
You did. What was your prompt again?
This man is the greatest villain in all of anime.
Yep.
It was a picture of the guy who created One Piece. And thank you for putting, like, a description of who the heck all of these people were in the corner.
Yep.
Super helpful, because I would not have recognized him otherwise. Which basically meant I immediately got to make jokes about edging.
Yep.
And again, this one was rated 18+, and it was rated 18+ specifically so that people could curse.
Yeah, it's pretty much just people could curse and make sex jokes, because mine was something along the lines of, like, this would be the ultimate waifu or husbando, and it was like Truck-san.
It was Truck-kun.
Yep.
Which, if you're not familiar, Truck-kun is the nickname for, like, so many isekai, which are the genre of anime where, like, a person from the real world ends up in a fantasy world. So many of them start with the protagonist dying, which is how they get transported to the fantasy world, and 2/3 of the time they die by getting hit by a truck.
Yep.
So, it's just, that's the gag.
Yeah. But I get to make a lot of truck, like, jokes.
Yeah.
I got some pretty big laughs.
You did. And again, like, I think people were amused by me basically just pointing out that the guy who writes One Piece clearly he was intending for the One Piece to be the friends we made along the way, but has realized now he's too deep, and if he actually writes that as the ending, fan base is going to murder him. So he just keeps making more One Piece to stave off that day in the hopes that he will die before then.
Sorry if I cut off your story with my story.
It's fine.
Okay.
So yeah.
What did I do for mine?
You made a bunch of jokes about having sex with the truck.
Yep. In fairness, that was handed to me on a silver platter.
Yeah, it was.
But I have no shame. And my comedic timing, I thought was pretty good. So.
Your comedic timing was great.
Yours was also great. The thing is, we know each other well enough that I had heard that entire rant from you before multiple times. So I'm like, I know exactly what was gonna when that was pulled up on the screen for yours. I'm just like, I know exactly what he's gonna say, and that's perfect for him.
Yep.
So because you actually had a prepared thing to that.
Yeah, I knew exactly where to go.
Yeah.
It worked well as a first one. I thought.
And that is kind of we were talking a little bit about this after the panel. There's something to be said in terms of pros and cons of letting people know what the joke is going to be before they volunteer to defend it. Because we did have a couple people who straight up got up there and had no idea what their character was or how to defend it just because they didn't know who it was.
Yeah, which again is always the issue with anime.
Yeah.
Because, let's be honest, there's a lot of goddamn anime.
Yeah.
If you don't, if it's a show you've never seen or anything like that, you're playing a guessing game. You're going on vibes.
Which, if you have good improv skills, I think you could do. I was fully prepared to go up there and not know anything and just make it up.
Yeah.
But it's harder for, I think, people who...
Which, again, we've done before on stuff like the Rate Your
Waifu panel, which I think we're just more used to it than other people are. Which, again, it's not to say that we're, amazing improvers or anything.
We're competent improvers.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. We're pretty funny. But again, this was well put together. This was fun. It suffered badly from being in a room that was not big enough for it. So again, fun panel. Slightly bigger room would have been good. But again, very fun, very silly. There were some really great, funny bits that people had. And there were some others that people were not entirely sure what to do with it. And hey, that's fine. Getting up and volunteering for something like that is a hard thing to do if you've never done it before.
Yeah.
And I want to respect everybody who got up and tried.
Yeah. I also want to respect the people who were running the panel because they did volunteer people, but they also were very respectful when people said no.
Yeah.
It was a good mix of come on up here, you can do it. And if somebody clearly was uncomfortable, they told them they didn't have to do it. So it was a good way of encouraging people without forcing them to do stuff they didn't want to.
Yeah. Which was about the right level in that regard. We did end up going up a second time just because, again, they were running out of volunteers. They were very good about making sure that
everyone who wanted to go up got a chance to.
Yeah. So if you'd already been up once, they wouldn't let you go up again unless there were no new volunteers, which I think that was fine.
Yep.
That worked. Didn't have a problem with that. That was a good call. We've done similar things ourselves in the past.
Yeah. Also, for going up, everyone got anime stickers.
Yeah. As per usual, the anime stickers were mostly smart.
Yes.
Or you could have one of the secret stickers from his bag.
Yep.
Which had "Happy Birthday, Dad is proud of you" written on them, which is kind of hilarious.
My father's never said that to me on my birthday. Or generally.
I'm not touching that. Nope. Nope. We do not have time to unpack that. We've only got an hour and 42 until we get home. We do not have time to unpack.
You said this podcast is therapy for us sometimes.
Yeah, it is. Not that kind of therapy. Anywho.
I really like this panel. It was well done. Again, great energy. And I will say, for all this con's faults, it's had some fantastic panels.
Yeah. Again, it's very clear that, for the vast, vast majority of the panels, the panelists cared. They wanted to do their best. Some of them were just getting dicked over by the rooms they were put in. So, yeah. Anything else we want to say about this one?
No. I really like this one, though.
So
it was a lot of fun. It's what I want from a debate panel.
Yeah.
So,
And then the sucking started.
yeah, I don't like generally calling out specific individuals on
Oh
this
no, I'm going to call
podcast.
this asshole out.
I was about to gear up to the point that I was going to call this person out. I wasn't going to call them that because we're not supposed to curse, but you know.
That's low-grade cursing.
Okay. So, we had planned to stay in this room for Family Feud.
Yes. Anime Family Feud. We probably weren't going to volunteer to participate in this
No.
one, just because, again, like, we don't actually know enough anime.
And I will admit, we weren't going into this room because it had multiple tables and was tiny in it. Like, I had no clue how Family Feud was even going to work in this space.
Mm-hmm.
And it might have worked better had it had a host who was willing to compromise in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, but not be a dick.
So,
I did not like this person.
No, I
wanted
really
to
did not.
punch this person in the throat. I didn't, but I wanted to.
They were, I think, understandably frustrated with the fact that they were in a room that probably wouldn't have worked for the panel, and they were given that. And also, I will say, the debate panel
did very much push its time slot.
And it was not alone in this. Most panels we were working at today did push up against their time slots a lot, and they didn't really have 5-minute breaks. And I don't think they gave the panelists instructions to include 5-minute breaks that aren't like officially in the schedule, but should be.
Yeah. Again, some panelists were very deliberately trying to end like 10 minutes before their official end point, so that like the next panelist had time to set up. A lot of them weren't.
Yep.
Which, the one issue I will say that I did notice with quite a few of the panels, even the really good ones, is quite a few of those panels could have been an hour and a half to 2 hours. A lot of them were really straining up against an hour time block.
Yeah. I think that's definitely part of it, and they do have a lot of programming, which I do like, but it's just like this room just should not have been used for programming. It just wasn't going to work. Or if it was going to be used for programming, it should maybe be used for like stuff like Blood on the Clock Tower or one-off D&D games.
Yeah.
Because those could actually fit in the room.
Yeah. It would have been good for like small private games or anything like that, but for a panel that was Family Feud where you were going to have like 10 people up at the front, there was not really enough physical space in there for it. So yeah, we had been planning to stay for that because we like Family Feud as a format. It's fun to watch. But yeah, the host was very, very rude to you.
Yeah. We were just sitting. You can just explain it. I don't really want to.
Yeah. So again, we were sitting, waiting in the panel room, like because they weren't clearing rooms. He seemed very confused by the fact that we were just going to stay there from the previous panel.
And keep in mind, I have a disability, and I'm in a ball gown, and the hallways are crowded. Like, we couldn't have conceivably have gotten out of the room before then had we wanted to anyway.
So yeah, he basically just in a very like insulted tone of voice basically said, "Yeah, what the hell are you doing here?" Which, okay, no need to be a dick about it. And you basically said, you have a disability. We were planning to stay for the panel, and then like he just started moving tables around in front of us, and like
didn't ask what I needed at all, and like then it was harder for me to like move around. A friend next to him, I will say, was understandably mortified and extraordinarily apologetic.
Yeah, she was actually trying to help you.
Let's go with they, just to be safe.
They were very much like trying to help you, like asking what you needed. And like every time one of I'm gonna say his because like he was aggressively male coded in that very particular male way that you get.
Yeah.
Like every time somebody offered a good suggestion, he just ignored them. Like I get that he was ticked off that he was in a room that was just not suitable for his panel, but boy was that guy a dick.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were planning to stay for this. We decided not to just because we didn't want to deal with it.
It was a combination of that, and I think there were legitimately 100 people outside that room who wanted to see Family Feud because it's understandably a popular game show format of panels. And I don't know what their resolution was to that, but I doubt it was pretty.
Yeah, because like even with like 10 people playing, they could maybe get an audience of
15-ish, and that's really optimistic.
Yeah, like they had maybe 7 or 8 chairs at the back of the room. And then, like, maybe they could put some people on the floor in front of them, but that would have been a fire hazard.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, how they moved the tables was also a fire hazard. Yeah, one of the people in the room was commenting on it.
Yeah. So, yeah, we left at that point.
Yeah.
And, yeah, there were anywhere between 50 and 100 people trying to get into that room for that panel. So, no idea what happened with that. I suspect nobody really enjoyed that panel. I have no idea what the quality of the Family Feud was. It's just that the space was not appropriate for it.
Yeah, and I want to emphasize the host was not nice. The space was also not right for it. Neither of those things really have anything to do with each other. Like, the host didn't, I assume, ask for that. Well, he very clearly didn't ask for that space.
Again, it's entirely possible that they are related insofar as he ticked off one of the organisers by being a dick to them and they put him in the worst room possible.
Yeah, maybe.
That's possible. But no, I suspect it was just they put a game show panel in a room that wasn't suitable for it.
Yep.
Which again happens, but yeah, I don't think this room was really appropriate to be used as a panel room. And the thing is, there were 3 other rooms on that corridor that were about the same size that were all being used as panel rooms this weekend. So I think you have too much programming in that sense.
Yeah, unless you can move to a bigger space generally, or at the very least, ask. I don't know what the program forms looks like generally, but it seems to me at least intuitive that if you think about the concept of how Family Feud is played, and you think about the size of that room for even a second, you would realize that was a bad idea.
Yeah. So yeah, screw that guy, but
I do feel bad for the people who were working with them.
Yeah, and for anybody who was just looking forward to that panel.
Yeah.
Like, Family Feud's a lot of fun at cons. We've both played in it and watched it.
Mm-hmm.
It's it can be great. You're usually playing with random strangers you're just meeting.
Yep.
But that's fun. Like, actually having enough of a friends group to have a complete set of 5 Family Feud members, like, if you can manage that at a con, it's great. But don't expect it.
Yeah. So at that point, we were, kind of grumbling.
Yep.
We headed back downstairs where we found Bridget and James and Merrick and Weevil.
Yep.
Whose names we still do not have permission to say.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep calling them Merrick and Weevil.
Yep.
So yeah, this was basically our Yu-Gi-Oh meetup. I don't think Bridget ever got the picture she wanted.
I don't think she did, unfortunately, just because, again, like, we were all running around at this con for one reason or another.
Because their friend Rex, it's another Yu-Gi-Oh character that's not their actual name, was also there.
Yep.
So, and don't think we have a picture with all of us yet.
Nope.
And if we can get both Rex and Bridget and James's friend who plays Taya, that'll be the full, I think, group we have so far.
Yeah.
So we talked to them briefly. I think everyone was mostly just complaining about the organization of the con.
Yeah. Yeah, Weevil and I had an extended conversation about the terribleness of their line management. Because, again, he's somebody who's done, like, people management at an event, and I'm British, so I actually appreciate good queuing systems.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was, we were complaining.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we were commenting on the things that went well. Like, apparently Bridget and James' panel went pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so we weren't overly happy, if I'm, brutally honest.
Well, like, this is the thing, is, like, the panels we went to today were really good.
Yeah.
And generally, we've also had some really good con vibes. Like, I felt some of the con magic today. Like, the magic feeling of just being at a con.
Again, it's mostly just, there was a couple of high-level organizational things that were just dragging the experience down.
And that one person was an idiot.
And that one person was a dick. Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah, we talked to them for a little bit. And then, what was the panel we went to at, like, 4?
Do you remember it, or do you need me to look it up?
That was the Game Changer one.
Yes.
So, there are clearly a lot of Dropout fans who go to this con, which is fine. Like, Dropout produces some good stuff.
And all of which are very good at replicating the Dropout style.
Yeah. So, Game Changer, if you're not aware, is a is a game show on Dropout.tv, where the basic principle is that the contestants turn up and they will be playing a game show.
Yep.
And they have no idea what it'll be because every show is different and unique.
Yep.
But they have to, like, figure out as they go what they need to do in order to actually win the game.
Yep.
So this particular panel was in the theater, which I thought a reasonable space for it. And he basically prepped 4 completely different games, and wanted, needed volunteers to come down to do them. And again, he did a very good job of like replicating the style. He needs a little more practice with his time management.
Yep.
Because of the 4 games that he was trying to fit into an hour, the first one took 45 minutes.
Yep.
Or 40 plus, like 42 minutes, give or take.
And this was one of those games that like was just a basic, like I think it was match the anime character dubbed to the food they're eating, which was that's creative and fun.
That's fun.
It's just there were 20 of them as opposed to 5.
Yeah, basically you just had you got a little carried away.
Yeah.
I
will say that game did have like one of my favorite, I think, contestants generally, of somebody who like, there were definitely some people who were just up there playing, which is fine. There was definitely somebody up there who got the vibes of what it would be to be on Dropout, which the goal of playing a game on like Game Changers and being on Dropout isn't to play the game, it's to make the audience laugh.
Yeah.
And this person was doing a great job of making this panel work.
Yeah, because
one of the options, charisma.
Yeah, one of the options up there was beer.
Yeah.
And they realized that they could get the audience to chant beer, beer, beer. If they answered that for every answer, whether it was right or wrong.
Yep.
It was great. They had fun. When the one question when the actual answer was beer, it was somebody else's turn.
Yep.
And it got stolen from them, and they knew exactly how to play that up for the audience. Like, they did great. Not that the other contestants weren't also, like, very fun and very entertaining, but yeah, they kind of stole the show.
They stormed out of the room at the end.
Yep.
And then everyone got a prize for participating, which we love.
Yep.
And they stuck back in and managed to get their prize without anyone seeing them later in the show.
Oh, I saw them.
Oh, I didn't.
Like, I saw them do that. The host didn't. But again, like, it was a lot of fun. It's mostly just, that round could have been 5 questions rather than 20.
Yeah.
For one thing, you wouldn't have had to have quite as many tabs open.
Yep.
Yeah,
because they didn't have to play all the sounds.
Yep. But yeah, like, again, fun round.
And we got the Pokemon Donut in there.
Yeah. Which, again, if you're not familiar with that, Google it. It's fun.
Yep. But you can never have the raw joy of like being 7 years old and watching them refer to a rice ball as a donut and being like, what the heck? That's not a donut.
Yeah, 4 kids, we can't understand the concept of foreign food.
Or I love how that would be too dumb to understand like what a rice ball was if they just even translated it from the basic Japanese. But somehow would be like dumb enough to buy that it was a donut, like, and not notice that it was a rice ball.
So yeah, the second game was
Simon Says, basically.
Simon Says. But again, like, if you've seen the episode of Game Changers where they do Simon Says, he used a lot of the same tricks that they use in that episode of, like, things that kind of sound like his name, or like changing the activation phrase and then changing it back, but but he didn't actually change it back. Like, a lot of like absolute dick moves that are very funny for the audience. So that was great fun to watch.
Yeah.
And then they just had enough time at the end for like.
I think it's the sound effects one technically, but it basically just becomes like charade / improv the more you do it.
The small girl doing a Kamehameha was ridiculously cute.
Yeah, that round had some kids in it because it was a shorter round, and the little girl doing a Kamehameha just broke the host.
Yeah. You ever see something so cute that it actually makes you go stand in the corner and cry for like 30 seconds?
Yeah.
It was great.
Yep.
So yeah, like, I really like this panel. Needs a little bit of tweaking for time management purposes and or a 2-hour time slot.
Yeah.
Like, there's enough material here that you could do it in a 2-hour time slot, I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, like, plenty of time slot, but otherwise, like, it was great. We had a lot of fun. Like, very silly, very enjoyable, just good vibes. Yeah. What was next?
After that, I actually looked this up on the schedule. So we wanted to see if we could get into the cosplay contest, which was supposed to start at 5.
Yes.
There was a line.
That was a line.
James said that it was supposed to start at 5:30. I literally just looked at the schedule right now. It says 5.
It says 5.
It was supposed to start at 5.
Yep.
I think they pushed it back to 5:30 because they realized it was not going to start at 5, but it was supposed to start at 5.
It was supposed to start at 5.
So while we went over there to look at the line, we did happen to catch, because Bridget's competing.
Yeah.
JP was outside with American Weevil.
Yep.
And they had found a Yugi.
They found a Yugi.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, our Yu-Gi-Oh cosplay group doesn't have a Yugi.
Yep.
It's all side characters.
Like, I think at some point, Merrick, well, the person who plays Merrick, has suggested that we start recruiting more and more people to display more and more obscure side characters.
Again, we need a Tristan.
Yep.
Tristan might suck, but we need a Tristan. But anyway, so we got chatting, and then various other people kind of peeled off. And we ended up talking to the Yugi for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, they are a very cool person.
Yeah, awesome human being. We don't have permission to say their name, but
and I don't really know how comfortable I feel like sharing aspects of their life.
Yeah, we're not doing that, but I love it at a con where you can meet someone and form that emotion, form that connection, and just talk to them for an extended period of time about your respective lives.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, sometimes you just have those moments where you talk for ages, and it's lovely when that happens. Also, we might have convinced them to go to Anthro, Ohio.
Yeah. If you do, and you're listening to this, absolutely message us.
Yeah. We will happily say hello to you there.
Yes.
But yes. So, this is not something that, will ever be on a con schedule. This is not something you can, plan for. But this is, something that just sometimes happens at cons. You hit it off with people and you just have a really nice chat with them. Yeah.
As well as things that does have to happen organically. But when it does happen, it's just kind of incredible. And it's part of that con magic that I just love.
Yeah. People are just there to have a good time.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, this person also, I will share this, they didn't make their own Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yes.
So
yes, they did.
I think they had the Pot of Greed. What does that do?
Pot of Greed allows you to draw 2 additional cards.
Only Yu-Gi-Oh fans will know why that's funny. Yeah. Well, it's not a terribly deep cut.
It's not.
They made their own Dark Magician card, and they made their own Barack Obama card.
Yep.
Valid.
They didn't give him attack and defense stats, though. I want to know what Barack Obama's attack and defense stats are.
Barack Obama's just indefeatable. Duh.
So, yeah.
And you even got to, RP a little mini scene with them at some point. A couple people came up and took our picture. It was just very fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, again, it's lovely when you get the opportunity to, make those connections at events. Mm-hmm. And it's fun. So, yeah. They probably think we're insane. But, most people who meet us do. It's not inaccurate.
Yeah. So after that, we took a brief break to get food, just because we had been standing for an hour and a half.
Yep. So we basically went over to, again, for whatever reason, the slightly quiet corner where we pitched camp at the beginning of the day was just free all day. It was weird. Mm-hmm.
Well, there was a lot of seating at this con generally, just in public spaces, which I liked a lot.
I will say that, there was a lot of good seating, which, again, student union. But it's always nice to have at a bigger convention. So you basically, were reading through the schedule and figuring out what our next move was while I ran downstairs to get more food. Mm-hmm. This time I went to the chicken place, and I went to it because there was no line, so I figured it'd be the quickest option. And then it turned out the chicken place hadn't cooked any chicken, so they had to cook me some chicken for my chicken
Wait, the
sandwich.
place was just a chicken place and they didn't have chicken?
Yeah.
Okay. What?
So, because again, I got a chicken sandwich and some fries, and they had to actually cook me the chicken for my chicken sandwich because they didn't have any at that point. Okay, I think they had tenders, but they didn't have the sandwich chicken. Again, it was a perfectly acceptable chicken sandwich. The fries were over salted. I'm not gonna lie, but But again, it was fine. And again, like, not hideously expensive. Again,
Mhm.
like, I basically paid $10 both times I went down there, which is fine.
Mhm.
Yeah, on the staff who were working the tills that day, they were clearly like interested to like see all the costumes and stuff. Like I got asked where I found a completely red suit. To which my response is, "You'd have to ask my wife. She's the one who bought it. I think it was Amazon."
That one probably is. I I realize that Amazon is evil.
Yep.
Like I do fully accept that, and you should thrift. The problem is your legs are too long.
Yeah. No thrift stores have 35 inside leg as standard.
Mm-hmm.
I am weirdly tall. I am 6'6".
I love it how you just brought that up. No one
Obviously.
asked at all.
Yep.
Like, you weirdo.
Yep. It's fine.
So at this point, we panel hop for a little bit to kind of try to find our footing. So we briefly stopped in Shibuya defending Disney villains panel.
Mm-hmm. Which again seemed like a perfectly okay panel,
Mm-hmm.
but it was in that fishbowly room again.
Yeah.
And yeah, once again, sitting at the back of that room was not doing good things for your claustrophobia.
Yeah, it just was not working for me. So we moved upstairs and caught the end of I think the isn't cosplay supposed to be fun? Which was an interesting panel about cosplay that I almost like I wish we caught more of that. It sounded like it was a really like actual productive panel about cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just that I've gone to so many bad like cosplay panels that are run by like the cosplay like contest elite.
Who will basically say cosplay isn't supposed to be fun, damn it, it's supposed to be a competition. You have to prove you're the best.
Yeah.
You have to destroy your enemies and see them driven before you. And it's like, no.
Whereas this was a discussion on like how to be more comfortable in your cosplay. It was run by a licensed mental health professional.
Mm-hmm.
They said that, so I assume that they were. I didn't like check their credentials. But that'd be a weird thing to lie about.
Yeah. If you were lying about that, you're a bad person.
Yeah.
I don't think they were lying.
I do not think they were lying.
Don't pretend to be a medical professional if you're not.
Yep.
This is good general advice.
Yeah. But I think they're called like Wellness and Cosplay. I did not get their exact credentials, but they're apparently an organization that's trying to promote more positivity in cosplay. And I think that's really cool.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. They seem like great people to do it.
Yeah. So we only caught the end of that, and I'm going to be brutally honest, I was mostly eating my chicken sandwich through the bit of that panel we were in, so I wasn't paying all of that much attention.
Yeah, I will say the bits that I caught, because I actually was paying attention, were like nice. I think I might need to go to a cosplay positivity panel soon. And clearly I'm having some cosplay like emotions that I should probably work out a little bit.
Yeah. It's probably worth doing at some point. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, anyone who cosplays knows that it is like, you're getting attention, it's meant to be fun, but every once in a while somebody makes one of those comments that just makes you feel not great, and it's nice to kind of work out those emotions with other people who've also experienced that.
Yeah, because again, one of the big problems with the human brain is you can get 20 compliments and one insult, and the one insult is the thing you'll remember.
It's partially that, it's partially, particularly with the way I cosplay, attention is on me a lot when I cosplay, which I like, but at the same time there are moments where I'm just like, okay, this is a little bit much. It's nice to also talk about that with other people. Yep. So, maybe all that time, like I like this panel, or based on what I saw, if this group was doing the same panel at another con, I would probably check it out.
Very fair and valid. So at that point, what was the panel?
I'm trying to remember the exact name. It was the I think it was the OTP panel or the One True Ship panel, which we caught last time we were here.
Yep.
And I think they remembered us actually.
They may well have.
I think they did because they remembered your Warhammer suggestion.
Oh, this was the 18+ one, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is which pairing rules them all 18+.
Yep.
Which is a Kahoot quiz panel.
Yep.
Which Kahoot is just an online quiz. These are for classrooms all the time. It's just kind of you get points for getting the answer right and you get points for it quicker. But this is basically, they go through AO3 tags, which is the fan fiction site for those of you who live under rocks. And you try to guess which is the most common, and I think new, because I don't remember this from 2 years ago, least common of the 4 most common pairings for AO3.
Yep. And they pair that with smut.
Yes.
Like actual full-on
smut.
It's porn, let's be honest.
They checked IDs for this.
They did. They very much checked IDs. They were the only people this weekend who bothered. But yes, they did in fact check our IDs at this one because, the imagery they were showing was not holding back.
Yep.
And a lot of these were what can best be described as toxic yaoi pairings.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, a lot of smut. It was fun.
It was very fun.
Again, like Kahoot Quiz, not my favorite format, but I think it works well for this. At least in part because, let's be honest, we were guessing half of them. Because, like, if you've not seen any, a given like anime or a given show or a given universe or whatever, you are guessing. Like, it's a complete 1 in 4 stab in the dark, and 1 in 3 for the second question at the least.
We were also randomly hanging out for somebody we met at Techo during this panel because they happened to sit behind us. They were cool.
Yeah, they recognized us.
And for whatever weird reason, my phone wasn't actually like letting me log into the Kahoot, but it worked once we started. So.
Yeah, it was having fun with it.
And I missed the first 2 questions. I still got like 11th out of 30 people, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, again, some of them I was not expecting. Like, how on earth is there more Lena Luthor, Cara Danvers smut on AO3 than there is Bruce Wayne Clark Kent smut? Like, I know the Arrowverse did fairly well for itself, but, like, come on.
Listen, when people get those ships and they just work.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I ship those two. Like, I've seen the show, I get it.
Well, I feel like I honestly, personally, would be more likely to ship those two than I would be to ship Bruce and Clark. Like, they're meant to be friends. Like, I can't. And it's not because I'm not, like, a fan of gay loves. Like, I'm very much a fan of gay loves, just not that particular gay love, so.
Yeah. That's valid.
Like, gay hockey comics are one of my favorite things. What? Valid. The audience needs to know that about me.
That's valid. Hey, look, I'm an old school Kurosami shipper. Like, I am all for the gay ships.
Yeah, but that's lesbian gay ship.
Yeah.
They're both not valid. Anyway, most of this is just an excuse to look at really interesting porn.
Yeah. Again, the only criticism I have is that because they add more, they take audience suggestions for things to add.
Yeah.
This quiz has gotten steadily longer each time they do it.
Yeah, this is another one that
a 1 hour time
it needs a 1.5 hour time slot at this point, generally.
Like I think they said they have 142 slides at this point. I think we got up to like 98.
Yeah.
In the 1 hour block. So either they need to cut the actual time on the quiz itself down to like 15 seconds a question, because Kahoot lets you decide how long it will run for, or they need to get a longer time slot.
I would
have happily done this for another half hour.
Yeah, I would too. Kahoot's easy. Like, it's something for which it's not a big time sink because of how quick it goes too. So I would have happily. Although I will admit, because they admit that every time they do this quiz, they look up the AO3 tags, and some of them are pretty close together in terms of stuff. I'm attempted to manipulate some of those. I can easily knock out 100 fics about what? If I make them all 500 words, I can write enough smut to make up the gap in some capacities.
The problem with that is you don't know the specific time at which they are getting the numbers.
Yeah. I can just start now. It's going to take me a while to write that many fics. If they're all 500 words, I can do it.
Yeah.
And when anyone recommends that I put them into a chapter anthology, I'm just going to be like, no, they're all separate. Don't judge me for my art.
Oh, dear.
Also, the Kool-Aid Man needs to be on there.
Yep. Hey, if you want to suggest the Kool-Aid Man to them...
If they are listening to this, which they're probably not, I'm formally suggesting the Kool-Aid Man.
The thing is, I don't know if there are enough characters in the Kool-Aid Man extended universe, to do, all of the ships of the Kool-Aid Man.
There's plenty. There's you, the viewer. You and the Kool-Aid Man, I imagine, are the probably most common Kool-Aid Man pairings. But, there's enough other, cereal mascots and stuff like that, the Kool-Aid Man. Kool-Aid Man, Tony and the Tiger, I'm just saying.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Anywho, so yeah, this panel is a lot of fun.
Yep.
It's 18 plus for a goddamn reason, but they did check IDs.
Yes.
Good job.
And they do have a 13 plus version that I know they're doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, there is one for the people who want like other types of ships and stuff like that. And
Yep.
they do say that they rule out certain types of tags. Like I know they typically don't do incest tags.
Yep, or rape.
Yes.
They rule those out. That's valid. But again, completely fine. You are welcome to like rule out certain tags for
whatever reason you want.
Reason you want. Again, they are upfront about that right from the get-go, which I appreciate.
So yeah, after that, I think we probably normally would have headed out, but we wanted to stay around for the shiny version of the Actually trivia.
Yeah. We're idiots.
Yeah. So yeah, we mostly just kind of wandered around. I read more of my book. And then we returned. I don't know if you want to say anything about that like hour break where we basically did nothing.
We basically just kind of sat around. We very briefly stuck our head into the Danganronpa panel to see if we wanted to hang out in that. Part of the problem was we missed the start of it.
Yeah, and you kind of need to be at the start of that for the rest of the story to make sense.
Yeah, and so this looked like a perfectly fine, perfectly well done Danganronpa panel, but Desi, you've ruined us for Danganronpa panels. Sorry to everybody else who's ever tried to do one. The level of crazy she puts into her panels makes them very, very hard for anybody else to top.
And she has a full voice cast that she gets to voice act a full movie.
She designs characters and draws them, and again, as I said, the first time we did it, she'd done such a good job of replicating the game. I assumed she just recorded footage from one of the games that in the series that I hadn't played. I didn't realize she made it all herself. So yeah, this Danganronpa panel looked fine. We came into it half an hour late, and it wasn't worth us trying to do that. So yeah, instead we basically just found a quietish spot. You read your book for a little bit. I scrolled on my phone for a little bit, and then we headed up for I'm actually Oops All Shinies.
Yep.
Which was at 9 o'clock.
Yep.
God, we're idiots. Yeah, by the time we get home, we'll have been up for 20 hours.
Woohoo.
Yay. We are caffeinated.
Well, we've got to run our school's gaming club thing where we're staying up for at least 24, realistically longer. So
we have agreed to help out the school's charity gaming event that involves the students staying up playing games for 24 hours straight.
Yep.
Because we live right near the university, we have agreed to do the late night shift.
Yep.
Because nobody else was willing.
Yeah.
And they need a faculty and or staff member with them at all times. So yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to it in its own way.
It's been a while since I've done an all-nighter for fun. Same for you.
Yep.
For fun as opposed to actually worrying stuff.
Yep.
So
again, the last time I pulled an all-nighter was when we were coming back from Connaught Elite.
Yep.
And that was at least in part keeping you calm in the face of the medical stuff.
Yeah, I think the last times I've done all-nighters have been medical stuff for which I've had to stay up. So doing one for fun would be nice.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, this panel was broadly the same as the Actually panel from earlier in the day. It was just, I think they just came up with a lot of really good idea for shiny questions and couldn't narrow it down, so they decided to do an extra panel that was just shiny questions.
Also, I do want to point out this con scheduled them for a 9 a.m. panel and a 9 p.m. panel.
Yeah.
That just seems mean.
Yeah. I don't know who at the con you annoyed, but I think whoever was doing the con schedule might have just been very vindictive.
Yeah.
That would explain a lot. So yeah, but no, this again,
same format. They still have massive prizes for everyone who was going up to participate.
Yep.
And they also, I think, did you mention last time? I think they also had little candy prizes and little bags that they made for just anyone who was there.
Yep.
That had stickers and candy in it.
Yep.
And were in individually wrapped bags that they clearly put together themselves.
Yep. Over 100 of them. In fact, I think they said they had several hundred. So yeah.
This one was a bit more anime focused. I'm glad that we Because I did volunteer for the first one, vaguely. I wasn't seriously expecting to get picked. I just wanted to volunteer in case no one else did. But it was clear they had a full room of people who wanted to volunteer, so after that I stopped trying.
Yeah.
Because I'd already played twice.
Yep.
So, fairness.
The one thing I will say is because shiny questions take a bit longer, they did only get through, I think, 3 rounds of people.
Yeah.
Whereas in the morning, they got through probably, what, half a dozen?
Yeah. They'd have an extra half an hour, though, also, in the morning.
True.
So, yeah, I do think this was another one that could have benefited from that extra half an hour just because of how long shiny questions tend to take.
Yeah. But with that said, we did set out, like, we weren't sure if this one was going to overrun. We did set ourselves a hard cutoff limit because we needed to get home.
These were all very creative. There was like recognize this map from these various IPs, recognize Stan Lee cameos, do these various poses.
Yep.
They had the classic like draw a picture of this like mythical creature, and of course it's in Japanese and no one knows what it is.
So just take a guess.
Yeah. It turned out, by the way, it was a ghost husk of corn. That's apparently a thing.
That's apparently a thing.
It's just like it's a normal ear of corn, except it's a ghost. That's the only thing that changes.
Sure.
I don't know. It's weird. We did get a fun banter moment in this one where you were like explaining to me this fact about Fantastic
Stanley's
Four.
cameo in Fantastic Four 2 Rise of the Silver Surfer.
And I was just like, why are you telling me this? I didn't ask.
Because it's important for you to know that Stanley's cameo in Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer is a direct reference to a cameo he has in the comic in which Reed Richards and Sue Storm get married, in which Stan Lee is being turned away from their wedding.
Why do I need to know that?
Why wouldn't you want to know that?
It's like Vin Diesel has a twin level of some dumb fact.
Yeah.
Points if you've seen that SNL sketch.
Yeah. I mean, my favourite Vin Diesel fact is the fact he taught Judi Dench how to play D&D.
I love how you like learned the exact wrong lesson from watching that sketch.
Yeah, I did. Shut up.
For reference, this is a sketch about the stupid things that men talk about with other men.
Yeah, because none of us know how to talk about our feelings. It's great. We bond over referencing fictional media. I had a moment of that last weekend where 2 people, where somebody else at the table with me, we both simultaneously started making, top men references, references to Indiana Jones, and then we both fist bumped. Congratulations, we bonded. That's how men do that.
Can't you bond over like systemic oppression like women do?
No, we don't suffer that. Well, the white men amongst us don't. But yeah. So again, this was a lot of fun. It was very well put together. The last couple of questions, they didn't bring up audience members. They basically just had everybody like play.
Shout them out, but it was fun.
Because again, like that was mostly just like they were running low on time and they wanted to show off some of the questions, which again, valid. So yeah, like very well put together, very fun panel. Like again, they're very good at what they do. Again, I don't know who they knocked off at the con to get a 9 a.m. slot and a 9 p.m. slot. Because that just sucks.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that guy's engine's supposed to sound like that, but it's probably fine.
They also gave away like $200 worth of stuff, so...
Yeah, they were giving away a lot of prizes.
Yeah. So yeah, this was all very good. These questions were incredibly creative, and like I can tell both these and the person who did Game Changers are they're Dropout fans. Like,
oh yeah,
they were doing a great job of mimicking the show and also adapting it so it can be played at a con with people. So
again, I had a lot of fun with this.
I did too. Worth staying for even now.
Probably.
Wish we could get away from the guy's engine. I hope it's not picking up on mic.
It probably is, but it's not that bad.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So stuff we didn't do.
Yeah, because at that point we got in the car and like
are driving home now.
Are driving home now.
And we could go back tomorrow, but we're not going to go back tomorrow. We knew this was going to be a one-dayer for us because I think we needed a lighter weekend, and it just 3 hours back and forth multiple days. I don't think is feasible for us. No. So plus there's not that much on. Although they will be doing another like trivia panel tomorrow, but I think that one is a specific like fandom anime thing.
Yeah. So again, we are quite content with our one day at this one. It was fun. You know, and like there's a few bits and bobs I need to do around the house tomorrow,
Yep.
and like I would like to sleep past 5.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if my body cooperates with that. My body sometimes doesn't.
So stuff I didn't do. This con did have a coat check. We don't really talk about coat checks at cons, but some cons do have them.
Which can be useful if you've got a cosplay that is like not going to keep you warm while you're walking from the car. I don't know the process of how it worked at this one, but the coat check was also just like in the middle of the hall. I don't know if you saw it.
I did see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could kind of just walk up to it if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I do think they had a person stationed there some of the day.
I think it was most of the day.
Yeah.
I'm unclear if it was all of the day.
It says from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So.
Yeah. So if you were staying as late as we were, I don't know if you could get your coat after that.
Mm-hmm. Imagine how like envious the registration person must be of the coat check person.
Yeah.
There's like what, maybe like 2% of the con attendees like got their coat checked.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we also did not go into main events at all.
Yep. So we didn't do the cosplay contest. We did not go into the dealer's room.
Yep.
I do want to shout out this because we did do or see this stuff 2 years ago when we were here last, which is Bowling Green's Game and Anime Music Ensemble, also known as GAME, which actually is a good backronym.
Yep.
Which is a ensemble devoted to performing the music of anime and video games, and this is student performances. And we saw them the last time we were here, and they were very, very cute.
They were.
And like very, very fun.
Yep.
And I think they had an entire song that they played with like plastic kazoos last time or something.
Yeah, it was something along those lines.
Or vuvuzelas, those things.
Again, I think it was kazoos rather than vuvuzelas.
They were pretty big kazoos. They did have a ribbon game here. And a manga library.
Yep.
There were multiple panels on origami. So somebody's very passionate about origami. That was those panels were in the like smaller room we were in. And I do feel like workshops maybe worked a little bit better in that room.
Yeah, possibly.
They did have a maid cafe.
Yep. Which we briefly walked past. Did they have a board gaming space? Because
I did not see. I know that there were TTRPGs going on, but I didn't see where they were.
Yeah. Purely because I know that when we were here 2 years ago, the space that was the maid cafe this year was their board game room then.
So they might have. I don't really know.
Yeah.
They had some Q&A panels. They are going to have a flea market tomorrow. That's always fun. They did have a cosplay repair station and a like free photo booth, which is nice.
Like, not a massive amount at it, but hey, it existed.
A few meet and greets, tier list stuff.
Some celebrity panels. I know Samurai Dan was here.
Yep.
Doing his thing.
Yeah, Samurai Dan was here. He was doing multiple panels, both comedy and swords.
Yep.
One of the few people who goes to more conventions than we do. Maybe.
I feel like I need to give him a card at some point so we can compare notes.
Some sing-along stuff, all that jazz, and some K-pop dancing. So look, it's a pretty good list.
Yeah. Like, again, they did have a lot on their program. It's mostly just a case of, I think they're running out of rooms.
Yep.
And some of those rooms just did not have enough space to actually have panels in.
Yeah. So, do you think I think we have enough to do top 3 favorite moments.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
After you.
The little girl in the Game Changers panel doing that move and it breaking the host. It was so cute.
Yep.
Like, I would drive 3 hours again just for that.
Yeah. I'm going to go with having an hour-long conversation with a Yugi.
I was going to pick that one if you weren't.
Yep. Like, it was lovely to meet that person and just, like, have that chance to just talk. You know, especially because anytime that we can't do something we're at least vaguely interested in because of just practicalities and, like, them not being accessible, always is a bit of a problem. Like, it always sucks.
Yeah.
Anytime it happens. And it was really nice to have, like, I'm going to be honest, I would rather have had that conversation with that person than go watch the masquerade.
Yeah.
No offense, Bridget, sorry. But
I would have liked to see her perform, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was like, I think at that point we already knew the masquerade was probably going to be pretty unlikely for us just with the crowds.
Yeah.
So. But hey, maybe it'll be on video.
Who knows? But yeah.
Yeah, I also really enjoyed that.
Yep.
I will pick the actually panel, particularly getting to actually win at actually trivia because I typically don't get to be able to play it. So that was really fun.
Yeah. I will go with, apparently I've now successfully mentioned it to them enough times that they're going to add Warhammer to the ship smut panel, so have fun with that, guys. I genuinely do not know what you're going to end up with on AO3 because Warhammer doesn't have a lot of main characters in that regard. So I'm going to be fascinated to see who the top rated ships are. I suspect, because again, Warhammer's got an awful lot of OCs because it's designed from the ground up to get your creative juices flowing and get you creating your own stuff for it. So I'm fascinated to see what you find. Just beware, all the Space Marine smut you're going to see is very lore inaccurate.
I know you're talking about Warhammer. We could go for another hour.
Your last one.
I'm actually going to take the debate panel, but specifically when I saw that you got the One Piece creator and knowing exactly what your argument was going to be.
That's valid. What am I going to do as the last one? Again, the vibes of this con were just generally good. Like that,
Are you just picking the vibes? It's so lame when you pick. Okay.
Like specifically when we had like several people coming up to us and just like again telling us they liked our costumes, and getting pictures with us, and like all of that kind of stuff. Like this is the laziest possible option for this.
Yes, it is. It's so lazy.
But again, it's nice.
It is
sorry.
Nice.
But again, I've run out of things to say. I'm not gonna lie. Like again, basically every panel we went to was very well done.
Like people put a ton of effort into these programming for this con. That said, I don't feel like it's being helped by the venue.
No, but at the same time, they can't move.
Yep.
It's a student-run con in their student union building.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, at best, they could maybe expand to having multiple buildings.
Yeah.
But even that's tenuous. So.
Yeah, I have no idea how the logistics of that would even work. In particular, I suspect they'd run into issues with, like, weather and, like...
Yeah.
You and I have commented before that concoction being split between two buildings is a pain in the butt.
It is. And that's not even far. Like, that's just across, like, a small road from each other.
Yeah.
Like, it's basically making it way across a driveway.
Yeah.
Whereas anything at a university would be a lot bigger.
Yeah. Like, again, anytime we contemplate trying to host a con at our university, I would have to figure out which building we would do it in. And there are, like, pros and cons to...
Pros and cons.
Yes, thank you. To each of them. Like, I know realistically, if you wanted to do it, you'd probably have to split it between two buildings. And I know which two I'd pick, but anyway. So, yeah. Generally speaking, I think we're up to con ranking.
Yep.
So, for anybody who's not familiar, our con ranking system is aggressively simple. It's one question. Would we go back? And you need to keep in mind that would we go back factors in quite a lot of stuff. It factors in, like, how expensive was the con. It factors in
how far away it was is a very big one.
Yeah.
So it's relative entirely to us, specifically. Like, if you're in Bowling Green, you should absolutely go to this con.
Oh, yeah. With that said, it's a 3-hour drive for us, which makes it more of a... my honest answer is this is a maybe.
Yep.
Like, I like it fine. The panelists put in an incredible amount of work to do really good panels.
And I do like this is a con where panels are popular.
Yes.
We've been to a lot of cons for which paneling is, like, very much an afterthought and no one's there. Here, panelists are putting in the work and people want to go to the panels. Like, pretty much every panel we go today was either, like, half full at the, like, not popular times, and at the popular times it was packed.
It was heaving, yeah.
Which is good.
But it does mean that this con is starting to run into some serious practical problems. So, triple the number of people who are working your reg line,
That at least.
at least. Get some
ADA,
actual
please.
ADA stuff. Get some actual line management for some of the rooms, and
Check stuff, like make sure everyone is getting those wristbands, because that's important if you're going to have 18 plus panels at all hours of the day.
yeah. And the other thing you really need to make sure is you need to make sure you're putting panels in rooms that are appropriate for them. And don't be a dick.
Yeah.
That's directed at one person, but don't be dicks. So yeah, again, it's a maybe.
Yep.
It's basically it's a case of if
you didn't ask me like what I thought, but you know.
Oh, so sorry.
It's okay. I agree with you. It's just, you didn't really ask me if I agreed with you.
Sorry.
It's okay. You just assumed that I agreed with you. In fairness, it's like when we go around the con, it's not as though I'm not sharing my opinions with you.
I feel guilty now, and I'm sorry.
I agree with you. It's like it's a maybe. I will admit, like, you know, if I knew that like the actual, like some of the panelists I really liked were gonna be there, and like person who was cosplaying as Yugi was gonna be there, and Bridget and James would be there, and American Weevil would be there. Like, if all of those people were gonna be there, and I could have the day I had today, the day I had today was a little annoying, but there were also a lot of really, really cool moments that I'm sure I'll remember more than the line grace.
Yeah.
Because this is what happens every time I think about Missouri. I'm just like, oh, we should go back to Missouri. Remember why we don't like Missouri now.
Yeah, it's like, why do we dislike this con? It's got a lot of stuff we like, and then we go to it like, oh yeah, all of that. Again, if you listen to the episode on Missouri if you want to know our problems with that con. But like, again, the main problem I have is just there is some some high level management stuff that needs to get sorted, and I do think they are butting up against the absolute limit of like.
And I do recognize that if this is student run, it is a little bit hard to manage in particular, because if it is student run, the people who are running it are going to change every 3 to 4 years, and that's going to lead to problems.
Yep.
And also, like, I remember being in college, like, particularly at university, sometimes they just give you way too much responsibility for what you should be able to handle at 20 years old. And if you have a faculty advisor, that faculty advisor does not have the time or the energy to actually help. And that might be a little bit of what this is. But that said, I do think that if they just put a little bit of effort into, like, the scheduling, because another thing that was an issue was just the schedule wasn't even up until, like, 3 days before the con.
Yeah. Which, it makes it kind of hard to plan.
Yeah.
Like, we generally speaking like to see a schedule before we agree to go to a con, if possible.
Because we're panel people and we like to be in panels a lot of the time. Plus, it also like lets us know specifically like when we want to be there. Like, you know, if we're gonna have to get up at 5 a.m. again, I would prefer to know that a couple weeks in advance.
Yep. Because again, like it lets us plan everything else. Based on that.
Like, I doubt there was ever a real possibility that we're going to get an Airbnb hotel in Bowling Green and stay overnight for this con. But, like, I would have been more willing to at least consider that as something I would do if I had a schedule far enough in advance for which that was feasible. Because, like, we have to plan a pet sitter, and we've got to get an Airbnb, and it's hard to do that on Tuesday's notice.
Yep. So, yeah. Like, again, for the most part, I like this con. It's just got a few kinks that make it a bit problematic. You know? And again, like, problematic kinks shouldn't ruin a relationship. You know, you just need to figure out how to make everything work.
It's a horrible metaphor.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, it's not even close to a good metaphor.
I know. I had fun with that metaphor, though. I may be running on too much caffeine today.
This is why people worry about our relationship.
Nah.
Their relationship is fine.
Yep.
I wonder if the tree's still there.
It probably is. I highly doubt they took care of it on a Saturday.
We need a better outro.
Yep. So, where are we going to be next week?
Furthermore, which I'm sure is a pun on furthermore, in Baltimore, which I assume is a pun on that, even though it wasn't in Baltimore previously to this year, which I suppose we'll talk about.
Yep.
I also don't know what the acronym for it is yet. I'm sure we'll figure out when we're there.
One would assume FTM, but knowing furries, who the heck knows?
Well, like, I don't know if it includes con at the end, because sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. And I don't know if it includes the T. Also, if it's FTM, that's female to male transgender, which is valid. But I don't know if they want to do that on purpose. Just
This is true. Oh, dear. So, yeah. So yeah, that's where we'll be next week. That one we are staying overnight for.
Yep, because there's no way we're driving back and forth from Baltimore.
That was like 5 hours.
Yeah, 5.5, I think, technically.
Oh, goody.
So yeah, we're doing back-to-back furry cons that are back-to-back pretty long-distance drives because we're idiots. So
Yep.
So after that is Bewhiskered, because for whatever reason I decided I wanted to do that. I think it's mostly because that was the Easter weekend and you had a day off, and I felt like we were wasting it if we didn't go to a con that was far away. So there weren't a lot of options, because apparently people think that you want to spend time with like your families or whatever on major holidays. Those people are dumb.
Hey, my family's in the wrong country. I would absolutely go to theirs for Easter.
What do you even do for Easter in your house?
I mean, the same thing we do every weekend, Pinky. Try to take over the world. No, we just have food. It's fine. Like, again, in the UK, you get the Friday and the Monday off.
Mm.
They're both bank holidays.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. I don't get that here. I just get the Friday.
Easter is the event that makes me most want to have a child, because I want them to be competitive. Listen, it needs to dominate the other children in those like church egg hunts.
I mean, you could say it's the festival that makes you want to have a child just because it's a pagan fertility festival.
Yeah,
like that's where the eggs and rabbits thing comes from.
I don't care about the levels of fertility. I just want one that is dominant at Easter egg hunts. If you have one that is dominant at Easter egg hunts that you don't want, please email us.
No. Do not, in fact, email us offering to sell your children to
I didn't
us.
say sell. Selling would be illegal. Adopting's fine.
Oh, dear. So, yeah, as you can tell, we're quite tired. It's currently 23 minutes past midnight.
The best part is
we've been
that
up since 5 a.m.
Yeah, and I'm
we've
like,
still got 45 minutes until we get home.
In like 3 weeks, this will be like an hour into our shift for staying overnight.
Yep.
Hooray!
Yay!
As you might guess, we're not doing a con that weekend, probably.
No.
Maybe.
Again, April, I believe, is kind of a weird month for us.
Yeah.
There's just not that many cons on.
Yeah, April and early June are really the gaps at this point, and I don't really know why. It's mostly just because stuff that was in those time spots, I think I've mentioned, has moved to other ones. Also, why are we still talking at this point?
It's fine.
Like,
okay.
No one is listening to this.
Somebody might be. Say hi if you're listening to this. Hi, both of you.
Also, as a reminder, if you are still listening to this, to remember the code phrase that was earlier in the episode if you happen to be at furthermore.
Yes, don't repeat it. I don't want people to be able to just skip to the end of the episode to find out what it is.
No, this is just for our loyal friends and true or whatever.
Yes. So, yeah. At this point, thank you very much for listening. And we will see you in future episodes.
Bye.
Bye.